Bird boxes, they are a great and easy way to attract birds to your garden. And today in this video I am going to be putting up two rather large specimens. I've got to my right, your left. This is our very own wildyourgarden.com Kestrel box, and this is our absolutely wonderful barn owl duplex box, which is going to go on a rather large pole in that direction on the edge of those hawthorns over there, and this Kestrel box is going in that ash tree over there. So let's get on with it. Now, before we start putting these up, I just want to give you a brief tour around these boxes because they are quite cool and quite special. So we'll start off with the Kestrel box. Now you can see this is quite a simple design, but it is just the right size for a kestrel. Now kestrels like to nest normally on flat ledges somewhere, whether that's a barn ledge, somewhere that's in a tree as well, that's just like a bit of a hollow, just anywhere that is a flat platform. They don't make much of a nest. In fact, what's going in this will surprise you, so stay tuned to the end of the video. These do come with some drainage holes in the bottom as well, just for any mess that the kestrels might make and for when you're cleaning these out. So it's good to just let that moisture drain away, and that's why they have these 4 holes in the bottom. They of course come with our very own Wild Your Garden on the front, and the ply itself is a finished ply. It's already laminated, so you don't need to treat these boxes. So for those of you that are saying that's not pressure treated timber, it's not going to last outside, or those of you that might be thinking that, then there's no need to worry. These boxes have been tested for many years. Due to the lamination process that goes into making this ply, they are fantastic. They don't need a single drop of paint, and the grey is just to give a little bit of added protection on the top. So that's the Kestrel box. Let's take a quick look at this beast of a barn owl box. Now, you might be thinking, why are there 2 holes? Well, quite simply, when the female is on eggs, the males aren't really allowed in the main chamber very much. So actually this bottom one I can't get my hand in. This is like a dummy chamber, so this effectively is a second bedroom for the males. So it's a great way of them both being near each other, being on territory, the male protecting the female from any risk of predation through things such as kestrels and little owls. Tawny owls might even have a go at some of these barn owls when they're on eggs or when they've got young chicks. Of course, most of these birds are very opportunistic, but the main chamber is through this entrance here, where the female will spend most of her time, and there's a nice ledge around this for the chicks to sort of jump out onto when they are ready and sort of stretch their wings before they take their first leap. And at the back of this box you can see there's a very easy mechanism which just twists round, and then this drops out so you can get in there. So if there are any chicks in here and they are likely to be ringed, and that is a process of putting a small ring that doesn't harm the bird, and the BTO monitors these rings if they are found. So it's amazing data that we've been able to collect over many decades of birds that have been ringed, and discover where they migrate to, where they move around to, and that helps us obviously to try and conserve them in the fullness of time. So there's an easy access chamber in the back, or this removable piece, which is good as well for maintaining, put that one upside down, good as well for maintaining the box and cleaning it out after they've nested. So that's the 2 boxes. Let's go get them up. Okay, well, thanks to a bit of a mechanical aid, that's the pole now in the ground, perfectly plumb on both sides. So it's time to get the box on top. Safety first. I thought that was a dream. Literally, that piping call, there was a flash of blue and orange as I turned round, and it was a kingfisher. Clearly been inspecting the pond that isn't even finished. Flipping kingfisher. Can't tell you how much I want to swear right now. Well, that's the box now officially installed. There's just one more thing I've got to do now to make it fit for a barn owl. And that is add some of this stuff. Now, I've got some really well rotted wood chip. It's almost gone to compost, but this is going to completely replicate the inside of a rotten tree, such as an ash tree or an oak tree. You can see that really woody, rotting material. It's exactly what you'd find in a hollow in a tree where these barn owls are going to nest in the wild. So let's get some in the box. Well, that's enough in there, 3 to 4 inches, absolutely perfect. Obviously this stuff will dry out and compress slightly, so we want a nice thick bed in there so they've got something to cushion the eggs down into. Not that they really need that, but it's just going to really replicate a natural habitat for them. So I'm going to come down there, grab you guys, bring you up here and show you the inside of this box. Luckily it has this easy to remove panel on the back, and there you can see, absolutely couldn't tell the difference between that and a rotten inside of a tree. And then all I've got to do now is slide this panel back on with one hand, which is obviously a challenge. Do the catch back up, and there we have 1x barn owl box ready to go. Well, there you have it, 1x barn owl box fit for a barn owl, and I can't wait to see if, hopefully when they turn up, because they have been seen quartering over the fields in recent weeks. So I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, they turn up and start using this as soon as possible. So that's the barn owl box up. Now let's go and get the kestrel box up. So now it's time to get the kestrel box on this ash tree here, which is a perfect spot for the kestrel. They have been seen in and around these two ash trees. There's two lovely ash trees on this boundary. So really looking forward to getting this thing up and seeing it hopefully be used in a matter of months when we get through into the springtime. Now, if you are enjoying the content you're seeing here today, then please consider subscribing to this channel and giving the video a thumbs up or a like. It goes a long way to pushing these videos through the algorithms of YouTube and therefore reaching a wider audience and hopefully encouraging more people to create habitats for wildlife. So if you are enjoying it, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any more content that I produce that is just like this, where I'm going around the UK creating habitats for wildlife, wildflower meadows, wildlife ponds, back garden designs, all to help wildlife. So yes, thank you. If you're enjoying it, give us a thumbs up. And now let's get this kestrel box in this tree. So much easier when you've got a digger. Now, I did say at the beginning of the video, you wouldn't believe what I put in this box. And you still might not. Well, hopefully you will. So I'm actually putting in some sandy, gritty substrate because naturally these kestrels, like peregrine falcons, will have been nesting on ledges, on cliffs, on rock faces, occasionally in trees as well. But this is a really good medium for them. And they love it. They just absolutely love it. They don't make much of a nest, as I've already said. So they just kind of scratch a little hole in it and lay some eggs, simply put. So I'm going to carry this ridiculously heavy bucket up that ladder now and put a few handfuls of this into the box. And hopefully we'll have a kestrel in no time. Well, there you have it. 1x Kestrel box raring to go. And I really can't wait to come back here in the spring and see who is using these boxes. Fingers crossed there's a kestrel and a barn owl. Nevertheless, it's still habitat for wildlife. If a jackdaw or a stock dove uses this box, it's just for the birds, so it doesn't really matter. But hopefully they will take up residence. They are around. I've seen them many times while I've been working here. And if you haven't seen already, this is part of a bigger project where I'm creating a mini wetland here in Lancashire. So do check out the Lancashire Wetland playlist if you haven't already, where you can see the full creation of this wetland, including the planting of these 150 native trees and shrubs and a full wetland area over there with several ponds and scrapes. Really exciting project. So yes, if you like habitat creation, then go and check out this project, because it has been an absolutely cracking project, one that I've thoroughly enjoyed. And I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, feel free to subscribe and give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, as I've already said. And thank you so much for watching. There will, of course, be more videos on all the ways in which you can help wildlife in your own garden in videos to come. And obviously, if you're looking for any boxes, blue tit, great tit, robin, anything like that, barn owl, kestrel, check out the wildyourgarden.com online shop. We can supply you with everything you need, along with bird feeders, bird food, native wildflowers, pond liners, subsoil, everything you need to make habitats in your own garden. So do check it out if you are looking for some inspiration. And thank you so much for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned, stay wild, and I'll see you all very soon.